Yeah.
We're live.
We're
Okay.
live now. Yeah.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to hashtag Chakrachat. Today we're using happy because we have a lot of guests for this afternoon. We have a lot of guests, and I'm sure that we will be learning a lot today, right, XT?
Yes.
So,
All
XT,
right.
what?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again to our Friday Habit Chakra Chat. So, Teacher Sam, for the previous Fridays, can you have a short recap of what we had discussed or what are the topics na na-discuss at mga guests?
So, last week was I forgot. I forgot what
It's
happened
mindful
last week.
vlogging. We
Mindful
started with
vlogging.
Ivy, yeah,
Right.
Ivy, and then after Ivy we have Nicole, and then
Oh,
Rika. So Rika discussed about mindful vlogging. So she shared about energy management, etc. And then she also gave us some tips on how to do it while doing vlog, all those stuff. And then you can actually check the replay on our page and check it on Chakra Yoga page. So yeah, I think that would be all for last week, yata, for the Chakra chat for that afternoon. So for this afternoon, what we'll be doing is it's a chat, it's a roundtable discussion with yoga practitioners and teachers that most of us are familiar or perhaps teacher ninyo sila or ang uban wala, and we are actually we are fairly represented now. Wala lang tayo Cebu. We have someone from Butuan City, we have from BGC, we have from Cagayan de Oro, of course. And yeah, so I think without further ado, I would like to welcome. For of course, we need to. I would like to welcome first the one from Luzon. So please welcome Teacher Aileen. Welcome to Chakra Chat, Teacher Aileen.
Hi
Hi, good
everyone. Thank you for
afternoon.
having me.
You're welcome. Thank you. And next is we have Teacher Silia of Butuan City. Are you there already?
Hello!
Hi,
Hi!
Sai. Mayong hapon. And
Hi!
then, of
Maayong
course,
hapon sa tanan.
yes, we have also our Cagayan de Oro contingent, CDO contingent. We have Jericho, Teacher Honey, and of course, Ben. So please turn on your camera now. Hi.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Good
Good.
afternoon.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Wala ko video.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
no
why?
video because the host need to there.
Naalala, the host.
Okay. Sorry.
The host,
Wait lang.
The
paging the
Also
host.
host.
waiting.
sorry.
Hello everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to our afternoon habit chakra chat. So thank you so much for saying yes. And of course, by the way, we have Teacher Yanni. Sorry, my
Wala na.
fault. We have Luzon pala. So, Teacher
Busy.
Yanni,
Hello!
Aileen.
I'm
Hi,
here.
Teacher
Maulang
Yanni.
hapon from
Siya
Manila,
yung
from
pinaka-last na in-invite ko. And then she said
kakaligo
yes. She's
lang.
always
Kakaligo
saying
lang.
yes naman. Thank you.
Part.
So for that, Teacher Sam, what is the before we start with the question proper with the discussion, I just like to have a round, yeah, it's a round table na din na introduction. So we will start
Mm-hmm.
with Teacher Aileen, of course, and then going to Celia, then Teacher Liani will be the last. Just a short
All right.
introduction about you.
Hi everyone. My name is Aileen Ramos from the beautiful city of Taguig. Anyway, so feeling Miss Universe lang. So anyway,
Yeah.
I've been teaching yoga for 4 years now. That's it. Teaching in Makati and BGC before, but now teaching online.
Thank you, Teacher Aileen. How about you, Sai?
Hi, my name is Sai. I'm from Butuan City and I'm a newbie teacher. I just started teaching last year. I used to work in Manila and then I decided to come back to Butuan and start teaching yoga.
Hmm.
Thank you. Thank you, Sai. How about Teacher Echo?
Hello, maayong hapon sa tanan. To the world, to the Philippines. Anyway, I'm teacher Echo, Jericho, and then Echo na lang para short chart. And I've been teaching, no, practicing yoga for 6 years, and then teaching yoga for 2 years and a half. And then that's it. So,
Hmm.
and then
Teacher,
currently, currently
oh,
not.
go, go.
Oh, mana, finish.
Okay, thank you.
Alam ko
Teacher
sa hindi mo
Honey.
currently ano.
Okay.
Ano yung currently?
Currently not teaching yet. Oh no, no.
Currently single and available, ready for mingle.
Oh,
No budget. Still earning.
Hi.
Okay, sige. Next.
Teacher
Next.
Honey.
Hello everyone. I am Honey and I am a teacher by profession and by heart. I teach preschool. That's my forte. I love kids. And aside from that, I've been a yoga practitioner since 2015. And I did my yoga teacher training last 2018. So I do vinyasa. So I practice vinyasa as well. And aside from that, I'm also a certified kids yoga teacher under Rainbow Kids Yoga. So yeah, hello.
Thank you, Teacher
Thank
Honey. And
you.
now, we have Ben.
Yeah, my name is Ben, and I've previously been on Chakrachat, promoting the plant-based diet, and I'm foremost a full-time father, and I'm a practitioner of yoga, and Teacher Echo, my cousin, is my first yoga teacher, and my daughter has actually been taking yoga with Teacher Honey, so it's been
Yeah.
great to be involved with the crew, so I'm happy to be back.
Thank you,
Thank you
Ben.
so much, Ben. And the last but not the least, we have Teacher Yanni from Manila.
Yes, rainy afternoon to everyone. Hello from Makati. Ayan. So, I'm Yani and I'm a team leader actually at a corporate giant realty estate company. Gusto kong i-mention yon. I think it's very important also. But I'll share that later. And I've been practicing yoga since 2013. Fairly new yoga teacher. I completed my teacher training in 2018, and I'm the in-house yoga teacher of pretty huge obstacles. So, there. Yun lang.
Thanks, Yanni. So, game na. Game na for the questions.
So the difference kasi, di ba, Teacher XT,
Slumbook ba to?
regular,
Slumbook
of a
question.
regular talk show is basically you address a question to a particular person. But in a round table discussion, basically we have one question and everyone takes a turn to answer a particular question. So for
Yes.
our episode for today, we're going to talk about home practice and mindfulness. So it's very interesting because everyone here has been a practitioner or have been teaching yoga. So siguro before going into home practice per se, I'd like to know what led you to yoga. What is your yoga
Hmm.
story look like? How did you start doing yoga, and what benefits did you reap in doing yoga? Since we started with Teacher Eileen earlier, we'll start with Yanni now.
Baliktad. Okay.
Ay, okay. Sige.
Yes, we'll start with
uh,
Yanni. Go.
okay. Actually, I started with yoga. I enrolled in a yoga studio because I'm actually trying to recover from a heartbreak. I don't know if a lot of my friends know that. Parang I wanted
Really?
a distraction. Yes. At that time, that's my number one reason. I wanted in 2013, yes, I wanted a distraction from a really chaotic situation. Yeah. And then parang secondary is that I get a lot of comments about my weight. Like, ang payat
Mhm.
mo, and not in a nice way. Before, sobrang big deal nun sa akin eh. Like, what other people tell me, sobrang naapektuhan talaga ako. So parang I needed a distraction, and I also wanted to do something about my physique so that hindi ako na-judge as sobrang parang payat. But actually, in reality, I was underweight then. And with yoga, initially, but I wanted also something that's not very high impact. So parang feeling ko, yoga, kaya ko yan, kaya ko yan. Ganon. I had those preconceived notions about yoga. But I gained so much from it. It didn't even cross my mind that I'd be teaching it years from that time. Um, I actually did gain weight and sort of muscle mass from it. I felt like I've become stronger. And my eating habits has become better then. Kasi I know for my first yoga class, it was a hot yoga. And first yoga yon. And in my head, at that time talaga parang nagmumura ako in my head. Like, matatapos na ba to? Parang mali ata. But then I had to come back again because I paid for it already. So, well, parang, and then I couldn't also, parang yung feeling of Shavasana, it's the only thing that had me coming back, and the fact that I already paid for like almost a year subscription in that yoga studio. But apparently, it led me to so many good things. Yun nga, my body, my health has improved, my eating habits, and I've met a lot of people na whom I've learned a lot from. So, marami pang kwento. So, later na lang. But that's how it started for me.
Thank you, Yani. Sana na med na yung broken heart through
Ay,
yoga.
sobrang wala na siya. Yeah.
Thank you, Yani. How
Okay
about
na. Okay
Ben?
na, okay na.
Ben?
So next is Ben, your yoga story.
Yes. So mine was very unintentional, I should say. I know that we always have intention in yoga, but mine was I was just supporting my wife to take on a physical activity, and I just went for support. So I had really no desire to take on yoga as a practice, and she, Teacher Echo was offering for us to join with his session. So we joined, and it was eventually I had a experience during the Shavasana, and I shared this with Teacher Echo when we talked before that I come from a sports background, so I've had plenty of different types of workouts, from weightlifting to cardio, running, whatever, and none of those workouts had ever given me this experience during the Shavasana where I literally wanted to cry. I mean, I actually even asked some of the other teachers. I asked Teacher Echo about it. I asked, Teacher Mitch, like, what is this? Like, I don't understand. This has never happened to me before in all these other sports that physical activities I've done. And so that's really what kind of deepened my understanding about yoga. And now I do have a very much intention to take on the practice.
Thank you very much, Ben. I also started accompanying my wife in a yoga studio, and I don't understand at the very beginning, but yeah, we seem to have a similar experience as well. How about Jericho? What was your yoga journey?
Hello. So prepare yourselves. So take down notes. Anyway, I think it was 2012. Yeah, I know 2013, because I used to bake. It was like a profession. It was a short span profession, but I was exposed to it because my mom was. I used to bake from a leisure time lang niya. If someone orders for a cake or special occasions lang, so ganon. And then somehow I was exposed to it then, and then I got interested in baking. So I enrolled to no, far out, far out. Anyway, I enrolled to a baking school, and then somehow parang forte ko in baking is doing making the fondant icing. So if I could remember, it was I think it was a wedding na they ordered a four-tiered cake. So all the four-tiered has to be covered with fondant. So I need to what do you call this? I need to prepare or make 4 recipes of fondant, and then ayun, nagpakahero. I made all 4 recipes in one night. So parang continuous lang siya, and then you really need that kneading power in mixing the fondant. So actually around the 3rd recipe, I could feel that there's a little parang tingling sensation na siya, na parang it's parang na-worn out na siguro. Parang it's getting tired na. So I think 2 weeks after, I was just driving. And then when I shifted the gear, parang siya may parang ano say Tagalog sa pitik. Kaya English na parang it's like ano na feeling, and then
Snap. Oh, yeah.
snap, pitik snap. And from my wrist all the way up here to my shoulder, I could not feel anything. Parang siya numb, and then it was really painful. Good thing I was already near our house. Then I was shifting my gear like that. I was really unstable shifting the gear, and then I was really a stunt man during that time. During that time, so good thing. And then I had it checked. So the doctor said, "Nah, it's probably it got strained, or if you really want to go further, what do you call this? Had it X-rayed or something like that." Pero I did not push through, so I just put strap, and then the cold
Cold
ointment
compress.
cold compress, or the ointment na it's high class to efficacent oil. High class.
Yoga love. Is it
something like
yoga
that. Something like that. so it was just for a time I was really on a strap. Then I was still continuing baking, but I really need to use my left hand, and then the right hand would just for the holding on the bowl. Pero alam niyo yun, I don't want to push through with the therapy and stuff like that. So I went to Google. Google is your friend. How to relieve from that pain in the wrist. O, di ba specific? So actually, first thing that popped was really yoga. So at that time, I really thought yoga was just like fitness for women. It's like similar to cardio or Zumba, something like that, because I've been seeing magazines like yoga Zumba or yoga Taibo, something like it. Parang na-fuse na siya. Anong mga ano siguro? It was around 2010, something like that. I think yoga was really quite famous or popular back then already. And then so yun, the gym that I was attending back then, it closed already. So one of the dance instructors, or one of the teachers there, was teacher Julia. And then before that, actually, as I was googling my friend, so I started doing planks first. So doing the plank just to strengthen the muscles there on my wrist, and then at the same time, parang nag-acceleration, nag-level up siya. So I did the handstand with the support of the wall. So yun lang, and then eventually 3 months after, I was doing crow poses already.
Wow.
With support. So yun, actually it was just a baby steps. And then I was posting pictures on Instagram and Facebook that I was able to do the arm balances already. And then I think teacher Juliet got noticed what I have been doing. So I think, and then she invited me to just be part of to join her class. And then ayun, first class I did, honestly, I got bored. I got bored. So I think it's just a normal thing for a first time student to be in a yoga studio, because I was really expecting parang intense, parang workout talaga. Because I've done the circuit training, I've done the gym, the weightlifting and stuff like that. But I was not so into the deeper meaning or the deeper uh, the beneficial of really doing yoga. So, pero ano lang, same thing with Yani. I paid for it, so I have to really complete my 1 month subscription. So, but as I progress with my what do you call this, the attending the classes, parang na in love ko na din siya. And then pero hindi siya religiously. I was like on and off lang siya. On and off, then probably 3 months, then next year na naman ako babalik. But I was still doing the practicing yoga at home. And then little did I then teacher Julia really saw how I progressed with my yoga, because I was doing headstands already within 5 months siguro. So I was able to do the headstand within 5 months, and then probably still struggling with the binds and stuff like that. Pero I used to do karate before, so there are similar poses like the warrior poses. Parang it's being applied in karate, like the forward stance, the blockings and stuff like that. And then, so yeah, when she saw that I have the potential, she was really pushing me. That you have the potential, teach. I think you can. You can. I mean, not teach. Yeah, you have the potential to teach yoga. So why not push? Why not enroll yourself to do a teacher's training? And then back then, I was really hesitant. I was just saying I don't have teaching skills. No, I mean, public speaking is really not my thing. So, and then eventually, parang nasalang ako. I was just given a task by one of the teachers here sa Cagayan, si Tanya, who's also a cousin of mine. Siya na, sabi niya, she told me na, I'm unavailable teaching in Gold's Gym. Can you be a substitute teacher for me? So ako, sige, I will try. Pero, so, wala akong knowledge talaga what would be the flow, how to do. So, ayun, bulabog lahat ang first class ko. So, ayun lang. It didn't go well as I was expected, as I was expecting. So, ayun, but what I was feeling back then, parang it sank in. I really like it. I really like to share what I have learned from during the classes that I have been done. So I really like to, because the students that were on the students that were on my class were really asking questions how to do it properly, and then it kind of lifted my spirit up, that I want to learn more. I want to inculcate something for them. So yun, few months after, I enrolled for a teacher's training in General Santos City, and it was a life-changing. And then look at me now, I am a teacher teaching yoga already. And then the pandemic happened, somehow it's something new na I'm not used to talking on the camera, but I have been accepting private classes within my cousins, and then yun, for mga June na siguro, or June ba yun, or May, something like that.
Yeah.
So it's a very open space, then minimum capacity. So yun, that's it. And I thank you, di ba? Long time.
Thank you, Echo. That was a story. Yeah.
So we've got a broken heart, a shavasana, and a shavasana experience, and a broken wrist, no?
Broken wrist.
Broken wrist.
So how about Teacher Honey? How did you?
Well, yeah. Well, mine is very it's very short, no? It's I just got tired of all the workouts, like hardcore workouts that I did before, because I used to be very obsessed with fitness. So I did a lot of I do plyometrics, I do swimming, and I'm a Muay Thai enthusiast, boxing and all. So there's something kulang. So basically, I said, I have to quiet my mind because it's very noisy. Like grabe gid siya. It's noise all over, and I feel not. I feel like unhappy doing my workouts because I'm very much obsessed with the physique, muscles and all. And then a friend of mine said that why don't you try yoga? No, so then I did katong sa first yoga studio here in Cagayan. So when I did that, then that's the start of my yoga journey. And after that, well, my presence sa gym because I also go to the gym became lesser, and I'm more on like I do it I do the yoga more than the hardcore workouts that I had because I felt this I would say na it's happiness or bliss every after yoga practice that I have. So I end it with like during shavasana I feel so happy. Mo gid na siya, like it's the main feeling that I got obsessed with. So because of the obsession with happiness, then I made it into a lifestyle. So yeah, that's how I found yoga. So to quiet the mind, I found yoga. So that's it. I thank you.
Thank you, Teacher Han.
Ah,
Thank you, Teacher Han. How
Thank you,
about
Teacher Honey.
Teacher
That was
Sai?
give us the story, no? Go.
mm,
Next is
Hello.
your
So yeah, so for me naman, hold on. Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, so for me naman, nasama lang with a friend. So Bikram then was offering free classes, morning classes. Tapos sabi niya, why don't we try it? And ako, I've always had a sedentary lifestyle then. And parang I don't like to run, I don't like to move. But she said na it's because yoga naman doesn't have to be high impact. So we went and tried. And then it was a hot class, hot yoga class, and it was super difficult doing it, no? But you will also find na, uy, parang kaya ko pala. You can do all the poses pala even though na you are not physically, no, strong, ganon. And the same with what the others have said about their shavasana feeling. It's really amazing once you've done all the hard work and then you just rest in shavasana. It feels so peaceful, it feels so blissful, and that's also what made me come back to practicing yoga. And so at first it was more of the physical aspects of it na uy, I can do this poses pala without feeling, tired, ganyan. And then later on, I learned about yoga philosophy, and that's when my yoga practice really deepened, and that's when I started to think to share it with others naman, and that's why I went to a teacher training.
Wow, thank you very much, Teacher Sai. And of course, last but not the least, for our first question, Teacher I.
So for me, I started doing yoga 2013. I no 2013 was the first time I tried yoga. It was because after a Zumba class, there was yoga. And then I joined it. And then after that class, parang anong nangyari? Hindi ko siya naintindihan. Ganun yung feeling ko. Na parang, okay, hindi ko siya imagine kasi from Zumba na super saya, sayaw-sayaw kayo, tapos biglang yoga. Tapos may shavasana. Okay, hindi ko siya naintindihan. Ano ba tong class na to? And then it never happened again. I stopped there. So after that, I was, like you, Yanni, I was in real estate before. I just resigned from my job, and it was a high stress job. So I gained weight, mukha akong tita. Excuse me. At that was like, kailan ba yun? That was, yeah, 2014. 6 years ago. Mas mukhang tita ako noon kaysa ngayon. So, that I was 34 then. I was 140 pounds or 135 pounds. And my bone structure is very light. My bone structure is small. So for 140 pounds, and I'm 5 feet tall. So ang liit-liit ko, tapos ang bigat-bigat ng katawan ko at the point of depression that I was so big. And then when I had the time, I had that break of not having a job, I needed to do something because panay ang loko sa akin ng boss ko, no, na parang ano ba yan, Aileen, ang taba-taba mo. Ganyan talaga sila. Although sa mga boss ko noon, normal sa amin yung ganun, maglaitan kami kasi sales kami. That's their way of you telling them, telling you as a salesperson, dapat mag-ayos ka kasi may kliyente ka. You have no excuse not to fix yourself. So when I resigned, it's actually my ex-boss who asked me to join her in a private yoga practice. So I joined her to do a private yoga class, and that was it. After that, the wife of my best friend in high school brought me to Beyond Studio already. And then I started joining the classes, and I started, habang wala naman akong trabaho noon, so parang 3 times to 4 times a day naman ako nag-yoga. Kasi wala akong trabaho, wala akong gagawin. So kahit wala akong masyadong, that was the time for me to really take care of myself because that was a break in my career. I've been working hard from the very time that I graduated college as a makeup artist and then real estate, which is both high stress. So that break led me to yoga. And what kept me in yoga are the heartaches. Are the heartbreaks. So every time may heartbroken ang lola nyo, hala, mag-yoga na lang ulit ako, ganun. So ang pinakamanhabang commitment ko ngayon is my yoga practice. So that's it.
Yeah, thank you very much, Teacher I. Teacher XP, ang galing, no? Kasi iba-iba yung starting point of yoga.
Yes.
So, and wala talagang love at first sight, no? Or love at first yoga ang dating, no? Not everyone.
It's either accidental siya or, you had an injury and then that's it. But merong commonalities din with every yoga story. Ako, sa mga nakausap ko ng mga nag-yoga, for all those practitioners, they have similarities and differences. But at the end of the day, parang, we're all practicing yoga. So that's the joy of it, that we are practicing, we connect, we find a community through yoga. So guys, we are now ready for our first question. So yung first question, ha? So of course I will be starting. Ganun din, that's the process. And we don't mind if you're gonna expand your answer, as long as you just share and just chill. Don't worry. The questions are just very, very easy. So for the first question, this is very basic, especially when the pandemic happened, when March, when it started. How can a person cultivate a home practice? And then yung follow-up question niya is, how does your home practice look like? Like, you can describe or ano ba, ano ba intensity ng practice mo, or is it regular or not? Just share. So again, the question is, how can a person cultivate a home practice? Kasi madami nagtatanong paano to. And then sa atin, we as practitioners, we know na how to do it because we've been doing it as well na. And of course, you can describe how does your home practice look like. We will start with Aileen.
Okay. So, ito advice to for other people, no? How
yes.
can you cultivate? For what I would advise for people who wants to cultivate a home practice is that the commitment that they can do to themselves doesn't have to be 1 hour. Start short, small size bites, parang bite size pala, bite size goals. Para it's easier to feel that accomplishment. And once they have that feeling of accomplishment, is that they would start to continue. Let's say start with 5 minutes, and then that 5 become 10 minutes, and then 20, 30. It's not a forceful na kailangan today 1 hour. Kahit ako, when I when I'm practicing now, I'm doing a 30-day FB live. That challenge I did to myself because of what I'm going through. Because of love, I'm turning 40. So it was a challenge that I dedicated to myself. The practice really depends on how I feel, mood. I feel energetic today, I do an energetic practice. I feel tired, I go for a yin practice. It doesn't have to be forced. If you're very, very tired, go for a breathing practice. It really depends. Yoga is not one way. It's not about poses. It's also just how you should feel at the end of the day. And yun na ba? Ano pa pa? Yun lang And
Can
then,
you describe to us how does your home practice look like? Like the intensity, ano ba? If ever you have a
so
studio or gonna.
when I teach, I usually end up practicing meditation only because I'm so exhausted with teaching. But when I say, if I didn't do anything naman, or I started my day early and I feel like, oh, today kaya ko mag-practice ng strong, ganyan. Or minsan naiinggit din ako sa mga estudyante ko na binibigay kong klase sa kanila, lalakas. Tapos yung teacher nila parang, hello, ano na, napag-iwanan na ang teacher. So then I would be inspired to move on for me naman. But lately, I've been practicing meditation. That's my practice now. That's it. Um, it doesn't have to be one specific. Actually, for me, cleaning the house is also yoga because you're doing mindful
Yeah.
movement. That's socha, right? So
Yeah.
that's what anything that you're doing mindfully is yoga for me.
Yoga.
That's it. I thank you.
Thank,
So,
thank you, Teacher Aileen.
yeah.
So next is Sai.
For me, ano nga yung first, how to cultivate, no?
How
Kasi
yes, how to
yeah,
cultivate.
recently lang din ako my home practice because in the past, I really like to go to yoga studios. Parang it's different when you're teaching, you are practicing in a group class and there's a teacher motivating you, diba? And really guiding you through the practice. And then when I did my teacher training, my teacher then said na it's important for yoga teachers to cultivate a self-practice because more often than not, what happens is teachers forget na to practice, parang to do self-practice because they're focused on teaching. So every morning we are forced, no, not forced, but we have to wake up at mga parang 5:30 to do mga at most 2 hours of self-practice during the teacher training. And then, nadala ko naman siya when I went home, especially walang yoga studio. So, I really have to force myself to self-practice. Now, during this pandemic, I still talk to my students and then they would say na, it's very difficult for them not to practice on their own because laziness talagang ano siya, mas it's very there's a lot of distractions at home na parang sige Netflix na lang or tulog na lang or kain na lang. It's very difficult to just get on your mat and really practice. So sometimes what we do is we do Zoom classes para lang talaga nandun pa rin yung community even though we are not physically present in the studio. And yun, so I think you also need to really make it your priority, no, over everything else. As teacher Eileen said, it doesn't have to be an hour of practice. Sometimes ako, tinatawanan nila ako because I do mga 15 minutes of beginner class. Tapos parang sabi ng students ko, my gosh, beginner lang, tapos 15 minutes pa. But at least, even though that's only 15 minutes, but it's still 15 minutes of yoga. My home practice naman, what it looks like, because I do have an 8 to 5 job, and I know na if I practice after working, I will be super tired. So I really make it a point to wake up early, earlier than usual, para I can still practice even though mga 30 minutes lang or it doesn't have to be an hour. just so I can start my day with yoga. And before all of the work emails come in, and all of the parang calls from my bosses come in, nakapag-practice na ako, and without any distractions. So yeah, I guess you really just have to make it your priority, no, a priority. And ako, because I know that I have to wake up early, I have to check na ano ba yung mga pwede kong do away with. Like, siguro before I would watch series for 1 to 2 hours, baka pwedeng 1 hour na lang para I can sleep early and then wake up early and practice. So mga ganon, mga ganong assessments sa life para you can, yeah, you can cultivate your home practice.
Thank you, Teacher Sai. Di ba napaka detailed yung sagot niya. But yeah, actually, totoo yun. Even the 5-minute practice, kahit nga ano lang yun, like how short that is, or yung cleaning, pwede yon. Alright, so next is, sino ngayon next? Teacher Echo.
Ako din, alam na ko si Honey. Anyway.
Sige.
Adi, ako na lang. Ako na, kaya na akong mic. So anyway, also the first question was how to cultivate the space.
How do you cultivate your home practice? And
home
then
practice.
Describe the emotion.
So anyway, my home practice is really not that meron siya og kuan. Sometimes if I wake up early in the morning, parang moody siya. Moody. I just even though I have all the time to practice, pero back then, parang I really want to do the whole flow, like probably two sun salutations and sun salutation B, A and B. And then right now, I'm just being fluid, parang whatever comes into my mind, like, it's wala siyang fixed na flow. But right now, I could relate to Teacher Eileen. I'm more into the meditation now, especially when the pandemic started. So I think, parang physically, yeah, maybe I am still parang it's still there. The flexibility, the strength, I think it's still there. But what's more important is what's happening in your mind right now, because you're very limited to to your activities, especially like going out. If I have to go out, parang I really need to do parang one shot na siya, para hindi siya magbalik-balik. So that's it. So my practice, mostly it happens early in the morning before I walk my dogs, and then sometimes I do it at night after dinner. So that's it. And then sometimes in the afternoon. It depends. It's as what I've said a while ago. It's very my practice is moody. So it's depende sa mood na ako. So and then I really have to agree that really it's really not necessary that you do the 1 hour and 15 minutes or 30 minutes practice. 15 or 10 minutes is fine. Doing 5 sun salutations A is fine. Doing 5 or 10 sun salutations B is fine. Or other types of flow you can think of, or you can recall. So it really depends. Or something that you want to work on, like probably arm, you want to focus there, or probably the core or your back. So it really depends on what you feel on doing the practice. So that's it. And then and then sometimes I do sound bath. So there are times I would just play like ding 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 ding, and then that's it. I would just listen to it. Not really the full sound bath, the 1 hour or the 45 minutes that I do. I just have to produce the sounds, and then that's it. I would just allow it for a while, and then it would help me calm down with my anxiety and stuff. And then, what's the second question?
Can you describe to us what is your home practice? Well, parang somehow na ano mo na you've answered the second question.
Yeah. Yeah, in a way. So I have a lot of space actually. I can do it if it's a hall in my room. There's a small space, even in my bathroom actually. Well, while taking a bath. I would even do the sorry, kanang the sugar cane char the sugar cane the sugar cane pose, di ba? And even like if I have to reach something that is quite far, di ba? Extended leg with balance, reach the cup, reach the cup, punch, with the core, and then so that's it. It depends. So yeah, that's it. Even even walking the dog, it's meditation for me already. It's already nice. So I'm just around the subdivision. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Teacher Echo. So next is Teacher Honey.
So basically for me, no, how to cultivate home practice, as what everyone mentioned already, that yoga is more on whatever you're doing is already yoga if you're doing it mindfully, no? So as for me, I have set it's more on I set a consistent time because I always start my day with yoga. So it's more on giving self-love because I believe pang Miss Universe, I believe that when you cannot give what you don't have. So for me, I start my day at all times. I have tried different times within the day, but I am better when I do it early in the morning. So yeah, so I guess if whatever goes with anybody, so whatever anyone feels kung unsa ilahang comfortable at, then it's a go, no? And then my home practice is more on I have a certain space at home. I've tried different places already within my home, but when I had this really one spot now where I consistently do yoga, it's more on it brings alignment within me. So I made it to a point na same spot lang yun ang akong yoga spot. Okay, so that's it. It's like my yoga space, and nobody is allowed to just play within my yoga space. So that's it. So that's my practice. Next.
See, Ben, what's can you tell us?
Yeah, I like how you posed the question there, Teach. It's the keyword there is cultivate, right? So we all know how strong the gardening is right now, right? Everyone's gardening, and this is a great thing, right? Because if you're cultivating anything, it doesn't happen. It takes time, right? You plant the seed, you have to nurture it, and it takes if you're just buying seedlings online or in the nursery, you're kind of missing the point of the practice of cultivating. So this is really where mentally we should take our practice, and it's not easy, right? It doesn't happen very easily. You might have to set your alarm. You might have to have 3 alarms, right? I have 2. So I had to kind of practice waking up at 4:30 in the morning so that I can still spend time with my daughter during the day and be the full-time father. So I had to apply that over a couple weeks, trying to train myself to wake up, to sleep early, right? I think you had a previous guest on the Chakrachat who talked about the night before is really when the practice starts. Are you taking care of yourself the day before? What time are you going to sleep? So these are things that allow the routine to happen. So that's what I do. I wake up, make some coffee, do during the quarantine, I took on the practice of Ashtanga because it allowed me to kind of monitor myself, right? And I can go back to the poses, see how I progress, what I need to work on, how I'm feeling day to day. So it brought more self-awareness for me during the quarantine. I'm not saying it's the best practice, but during this time when studio is not available for us, and my time is limited because of family life, working. So that's really what works for me, to wake up early, have a set, I can't even do all of these poses on the primary chart yet, right? But at least it guides me through a set of asanas that I can look forward to every day.
Thank you so much, Ben, for that very short insight on developing and cultivating practice. And of course, we have Teacher Yanni.
Yan. Okay, how does my home practice look like? Eto yon.
Yeah.
That's why this is the angle that I chose. Kasi wala na rin naman talagang ibang angle, guys. I'm renting a room, and this is the only private space that I have where I can practice. So I'm limited. There's a huge cabinet beside me, and then on my right is my bed. So this space is my yoga space. Uh, Prior to the lockdown, the pandemic, group class girl ako, I don't actually have a super consistent home practice. Kasi when I go home, it's just parang a space for me to rest. And pag kung meron man akong home practice before, it's actually because I just want to practice a certain pose. Like yung crow pose, bakasana, and then the firefly, na-practice ko lang yun because I keep on doing it at home. Pero other than that, I really did not have, prior to COVID-19, I did not have a home practice. So kung meron akong ipagpapasalamat with what happened, wow, I was able to start a more consistent home practice kasi wala akong choice. I'm just at home the entire day. So um, because of those limitations, like limitations in the space, okay din siya actually because it's a way to be more mindful of your movements, parang mas controlled. Iniisip mo, ayaw mong meron kang matamaang mga gamit. Or ayaw mong ma-hurt yung sarili mo. Like, pag tinaas mo yung leg mo or yung arm mo, ayaw mo na mahampas mo yung furniture. So, even if on the downside, parang this is so different, like teacher side, this is so different from what I was used to, which is attending group classes and with the guidance of a teacher. There's also a lot of good things and a lot of parang yeah, a lot of good things to be gained from this situation. So yeah, that this is how my home practice space looks like. And also, like most of the panelists, I'm also more into breathing exercises, a seated meditation, and it doesn't have to be super long. Actually, 5 minutes is actually long when you're doing meditation, eh, right? I mean, a lot of you would probably agree with me. So, um, and also one of the things pala that I wanted to share is kasi we're already going through a lot during these times. So we don't have to add the pressure of we have to do more, we have to nail a certain pose, or we have to like have a very rigorous practice. Just get on the mat first. And just start. Actually, that's the hardest part kasi. But when you're already there, the practice just sort of saves you and gets you through it. Kagaya kagaya ng nagagawa sa atin ng Shavasana. So there, just get on these are my tips. Get on the mat, just start. It doesn't have to be super long. Actually, 10 or 15 minutes could already do a lot for us. And if the only thing we take from our practice is just breathing mindfully, then we've already done a great deal for ourselves. And also, as I've mentioned earlier, what got me into yoga is kasi naka-subscribe na ako, like naka-enroll na ako. So if you have the resources, then there are a lot of teachers offering classes online. That's also a way to support people with their livelihood. So pwede pa rin na may guidance ng teacher. There are also a lot of free stuff on YouTube. To me, parang it's also important that I find what I'm enjoying. So I explore different practices. I check stuff out online and then try it. And if it feels good to me, and if I feel like it's something that I can sustain, then I just keep doing that. So parang explore, find what works for you, kasi we all have different journeys and interests. So it's more likely for us to stick to a practice or to yoga if we enjoy it, if we love, kasi maraming styles and maraming styles ng yoga. So if you find a practice that works for you, then mas likely na madadala mo siya ng mas matagal. Yun, that's it.
Thank you so much, Yani, for that. For sharing your experience on limited space. It's really true naman din na parang it's hard na we do alam mo yon, being at home parang gusto mo na mag-rest, but we need to of course develop our and cultivate our practice kasi importante siya during these times. And yes, I agree to everyone that meditation really works this times kasi sobrang ano siya, like our thoughts are di natin control. We can't control everything and we know that. So Teacher Sam, are we going for the next question na?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah,
teacher.
go.
Before we proceed, I really liked how the idea of evolving home practice, no? Like ako rin, I also experienced the instance, for example, that I wanted hard hitting type of yoga, no, talagang bigay todo na hard poses, and then eventually, right now, you just wanted to rest, so I wanted to explore more of restorative chair yoga, no, because it really depends on how you feel, no, and that's the good thing about yoga. Lot of different yoga for the different needs of people. Now, because yoga is quite universal in a sense, I'd like to know what are the benefits that you reap, no, in doing yoga, and are there any discoveries that you have received, no, as you were doing yoga? Sige, let's just change the order para maiba naman. Let's start with Echo first.
I'm so surprised. Sorry.
Benefits of doing yoga and this.
Benefits. So back just a little from one of the benefits siguro I have what I have experienced when I was doing yoga. Because back then parang super arch yung back ko. Parang super arch. It was I think it began during elementary years siguro. And then probably around high school or probably sa college, parang nag-slouch na rin ako, something like that. I mean, I was aware, pero my mom would always tell me, "Hoy, gabako ka. Ayaw pagbako kay matigulang kag samot." It's an old belief na the more you slouch, pero somehow it became parang it's an habit already if you give in to the habit. So one of the things that that is very beneficial for yoga is awareness. So even though I'm just sitting down while waiting for my turn sa bank, I would not even lie on even pandemic because we're so paranoid with our backs touching to the stuff, the furnitures in the bank or anywhere. So even though I would sit down, I would really sit up straight. My back would really be lengthened up, and then I mean it's just a proper posture. And then so most of the time when I stand, my knees are bowed, more personal bow. I'm not so. It's hard to explain. So anyway, it's super extended, hyper extended rather. I think that's the good term. When I stand, my knees and my legs are really hyper extended. So when I do yoga, so I think it progressed. I'm so much aware on how I stand, and then probably and also my breathing exercises, so my breathing habits. So I think those are the things that is quite beneficial for. And then of course, the as I my story a while ago, so it relieves from injuries. So I was injured, and then I got relieved, and then right now I'm not experiencing any pain on my wrist already. So those are one of the things. So actually, some celebrities or athletes who are experience or have injuries when they were doing, I don't know, probably. I mean, LeBron James is doing yin yoga. I think he has injuries when he does basketball. So I think those are one of the things that are very beneficial for the people who are practicing yoga. So it would really relieve you from your injuries. So that's it.
Thank you, Teacher Jericho. How about Teacher Yani? Any benefits you reap and discoveries, perhaps?
Yeah, sige. I'll start with the medyo immediate benefits when I was just starting my practice in 2013. I really felt stronger. Before, when I opened parang the door sa office, I had to lean and use my weight to open doors. And then after consistent practice, kasi nga, I already paid for yun talaga yung parang nagpalakas sa akin, consistent, coming back to the practice consistently. And then I noticed that when I open the door, parang I don't need to lean to open the door. So I'm really feeling stronger. And then, yeah, so strength, that's one. And then patience. I'm a very impatient person. And even maybe until now, medyo pa rin. But without yoga, ay parang nakakatakot yun. So yoga has really helped me a lot with how I look at things and how I deal with things. So physically, so strength, and then yung patience, and then also eating on time. Kasi before, I wasn't very mindful of yung kung anong oras ako kumakain. But because I know that when I have to practice yoga, I know medyo mahihilo ako kasi intense yung classes um, that I was taking before, yung ino-offer dun sa studio na yun. So I know that if I don't eat on time, I would have a hard time in the practice. So without knowing it talaga, ang dami niyang naayos in my life. Parang heartbreak lang yung gusto kong ayusin at that time. I just wanted a distraction, but it really improved so much yung way of life ko. So that was then yun yung mga benefits then. And then fast forward to these days naman, the benefits that I've been getting from my yoga practice is really more on being able to apply this with my life out of the mat. Kasi there's so much parang parallelism from the struggles that when you're struggling with a pose, at least for me, when I'm really struggling with a pose, I feel like parang kaya ko pa ba to? And then I'm able to push through it. I realize that in life, when when I have parang challenges thrown at me or obstacles, instead of getting frazzled or panicking about it, I know that it'll be okay eventually. I just have to breathe through it. So, yun siya. That's it.
Thank you, Yani. So, yeah, totoo naman yun. Parang those things that you've shared are really nangyari sa atin. Most sa atin din, na parang you became stronger and then many benefits pa. And I would like to ask Ben.
Yeah, so in terms of discovery, one thing I'd like to share is, like I mentioned earlier, I come from more of a sports background, and my primary practice is jiu-jitsu grappling, and it's really yoga has really kind of enhanced my understanding of jiu-jitsu, because in jiu-jitsu there's a saying where the head goes, the body goes, right? There may be some of the other people who have backgrounds in martial arts have heard this. And what you don't really hear is where the breath goes, the head goes. right? So that's really what the point I'm making, is that it's really brought my brought my understanding of my other practices in a holistic manner, and I can really bring that side of the yoga practice to my other activities. So that's been really great to bring that. And before the quarantine, obviously, I was only coaching, once a week, but I would try to share those types of practice discoveries from the yoga side to the jiu-jitsu side. And in terms of benefits, I've been doing the grappling for many years now. I did judo before and then jiu-jitsu. So, it's very common to have injuries, right? I mean, all my limbs are injured at some point. My shoulders are messed up. So it's a real benefit for me to come to a yoga studio, have an instructor kind of see my poses and tell me, oh, like my wheel pose is horrible, right? I can't even, I could barely do a wheel pose when I started because my shoulders were so messed up. I've had therapy on one of my shoulders, my other one, I injured also. And so this has been a great thing for me to kind of just be able to analyze my body through this practice of yoga and try to fix that. And I do feel the benefits. And post quarantine, I'm looking forward to applying those benefits back on the mat, whether it's the yoga studio or the jiu-jitsu mat. I'm looking forward to that.
Thank you very much, Ben. How about teacher Eileen?
Sorry, I had to unmute. So for me, of course, it all started always with physical. Lost weight, but of course, that was partnered with the right kind of food. Um, but then the reason I stayed also that made me commit to yoga longer was that how I felt every practice. I think that was the fixing of what's internally happening with me that made me commit with yoga. So I think those are the well, it's really what if you Google what the benefits of yoga is, it's really physical and internal, and then that's why the reason of meaning of yoga is because it's to yoga, because it's everything that's happening within your life. It's gonna get fixed, not necessarily immediately, but at a certain point, as you progress and as you stay with the practice, it will just happen on its own. That's it.
Thank you very much, teacher Eileen. I like how you mentioned that really yoga is a journey, no? It can be everything can be fixed, no, as you develop and go deeper to your practice. Even at times, it doesn't get fixed according to how we wanted, but it will be okay.
Hindi naman
Sige.
sa pag-aano, kaya nga maraming na-attract sa yoga na broken. Yes. Sorry guys, forgot yoga talaga ako. Yun ang branding ko. Broken wrist, broken heart, broken finances.
Thank you, teacher Eileen. How about teacher Sai?
So the same din sa kanila, apart from the physical benefits, what really helped me or really helped me na stayed with the practice is the mental strength that I gained from yoga. So when I remember when I started, lalo na yung mga hip openers, pigeon pose, they're very, very uncomfortable for me. And then I remember my teacher would say na just breathe in through the discomfort. Remember that this will not last, this will pass. And it's it's really true because if you just breathe in, talagang mawawala. For some reason, yung pagiging uncomfortable ng pose, mawawala siya. And it's true, it doesn't last, it will pass because hindi mo mamamalayan, ano na pala, 5 breaths na pala, and then you have to release the pose. And as teacher Yani said earlier, it's the same in real life, especially when life gets stressful. It just takes a few seconds to just take deep breaths and to remember na kaya mo yan and that will pass. There's also this Instagram post that I saw earlier na the difficult poses, I mean, it doesn't matter if we are nailing or not those difficult poses, because they're not the most important things in the world. But what's important is that they plant seeds into our mind na giving us that they plant seeds of telling us na anything is possible. So the important thing is not, getting into a headstand or inversion, but just planting those seeds na you can actually do it as long as you practice regularly and consistently. So yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Teacher Sai. How about Teacher Honey?
Okay, there's actually one benefit no that I experience. It's the after effect of doing yoga for a while, and it's actually more on the kindness. So this one, kindness to myself, as I've mentioned earlier, that I'm very very medyo a bit harsh with workouts and everything. Like I wanted to finish, dapat I have goals set and all. But with yoga, um when I experienced yoga, it's more on I became kinder in all aspects. So it's very hard to describe, but you would experience it with me, no? Having known me, if katong mga nakaila sa ako before, then it's basically the change that they would see, ang kindness, so sa body and how to treat people as well. So yeah.
Yeah. And I remember Teacher Honey mentioning that in our previous Chakra Chat, no? And how
Yeah,
he uses that lesson on kindness to continue
kindness.
yoga. So,
True.
That's very true. Kindness, everything follows, no? Love, respect, happiness, char. Yeah.
Compassion and kindness. Those were like the
Yeah.
benefits of yoga. One
Mm,
of the intangible na benefits that we
mm,
all got from yoga, compassion and
mm,
kindness. So parang, yeah, it's all true. All of those you've mentioned are all valid and encompassing when put good about yoga. So
mm.
before, I know that we didn't know na time is so fast. So we are down now to our, it's not, this is
Last.
our yeah, to our last part. This is our version of a fast talk. So we
Mm.
call this the parang ano siya, parang you complete the sentence. So we will be asking questions tapos paikot na lang din ta.
yeah.
I
Okay.
think we are included, me and Teacher Sam are included for this. Sa last part na siguro may
Yes.
na question. So we
Okay.
will start with Teacher Aileen and then sunod-sunod na. Okay? So
Okay.
for our first na complete the sentence, yoga for me is Teacher Aileen.
Unmute muna, Teach.
Okay, for me, it's a transformation.
Ah,
That's it.
Okay.
Transformation. You're like a butter. You're caterpillar that you will become that will become a cocoon into a butterfly. For me, that's yoga.
Mm.
thank you, Teacher Aileen. Next is Teacher Echo. I believe yoga helped me especially with
With my, well, I'm not called same question. Prepared na kaya ako kumain. So
if you want
anyway,
to answer the first pwede.
sige, and then the second question na lang. So to, come again.
I believe yoga helped me especially with
With my being more mindful. That's it. More mindful and everything that surrounds me. So not only through myself, but around me. So everything from my from the way I eat, the way how I treat other people. So and not just the people, the animals, and then so how the interaction. That's it. So most. So that's,
All right. Thank you so much, Teacher Echo. Next is Ben. My favorite yoga pose is.
Oh, that's a good one. My favorite one is the wheel pose because that's the most difficult one for me.
All right. Well, very, very concise. Thank you so much, Ben. Next is for Celia. My least favorite pose is.
Wheel pose. I don't like
See?
I love it.
I don't like backbends. They're my nemesis.
Really?
Yeah.
O, di ba? Bongga na siya. Kaya answer ko na to. Okay, thank you so much, Sai. And then Teacher Yani, because of
Yeah.
yoga, I learned that.
Ah, ang dami. Well, because of yoga, I learned that we're gonna be okay. We're always going to be okay.
Ay,
Yeah,
true.
we're going to be okay.
Very ano lang, short.
Chill lang. I mean,
Correct.
yeah, we'll
Thank you,
pull through.
Teach. True. Tama yan. And then, this is for Teacher Sam. My dream yoga escapade is at.
Siargao. I want to go back to
Oh,
Siargao with my wife.
you should. It's different. Alam namin ni Echo yan. Tsaka Alien also. Anyway,
I will
next.
go with you, Teacher Sam. I will teach.
And it's different in Siargao. It's the vibe in an
Oh,
island.
oh.
Okay. Thank you, Teacher Sam. This is for Teacher Honey. My dream yoga class is, you provide us the details.
I actually don't have an exact dream yoga class because I love being with different people. So whatever, I don't have exactly good when you gave out this question even earlier before. So it's just ano lang, like I just want to be on in a free flowing class where I can feel energized maybe, or people's energy. So kana. Mm-mm.
Okay, thank you so much, Teacher Honey. We're done na, di ba? Ako na.
Ikaw,
Okay.
Teacher
For,
X,
yeah,
yoga
I think
changed
ako,
my life.
Yoga changed your
yoga changed my life so much. As in, if everyone, most of you, I think you know me way back, really different. As in, for most of the people, it's true. I agree with Teacher Aileen that parang we call that parang term na with other teachers too na parang lost siya yung pre-yoga. And then with now yoga, our yoga glow is different. So thank you so much, yoga. And this has been the longest relationship we had. One of the aside from the relationship with our family, with friends, diba? So parang yeah, yoga changed my life so much. So yun lang. And thank you so much everyone for giving us your time. I know that we are all busy. You have schedules and all, but you gave us your time to be with us on our Friday habit. So thank you once again. Super thank you. Thank you, Kayo, from Teacher
Thank you.
Aileen, for saying yes.
Thank
Teacher
you.
Yani, na very
Thank
late
you.
na, Honey, Ben,
Thank
Celia,
you.
Echo, and Teacher Sam. Thank you so much for being with us for this pandemic. It taught us a lot, and then we know that we can always go through, but we need to, of course, remind one another. And this platform and this connection as well is very important, especially during this time. So thank you. And as we always say in our yoga classes, we always end up with our class with Namaste.
namaste.
Thank
Namaste.
you.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank
Take
you.
Picture.
Bye.
Picture sa
Chakra.
picture.
Picture
Pictures.
muna.
Okay, picture. We are ready,
Mag-off na
everyone.
tayo sa live.
Paano ba i-add live ito? As
Ah,